What's going on, guys? DLegend here. Today we have another PSA submission video. This is the first sub that I'm going to be doing for the year of 2024. So I'm excited to do this and send this out to PSA. We have 100 cards today that we're going to be reviewing and going over really quick before we do our shipment to PSA. Lots of Lorcana, lots of Yu-Gi-Oh! Not that much Pokemon in this one, to be honest with you. And I think we have one Magic the Gathering card, amongst some other things. So check this out, and I hope you enjoy it. Leave a like if you do, and if you don't, tell me why you don't like this kind of content in the comments below. We're going to go through every single card in the submission, but we're not going to look through every single card in depth, if that makes sense. So first and foremost, we have a few cards. I think we have 17 cards from Alec, North Star TCG on Instagram. So he's got an Elsa, Spirit of Winter, Genie on the Job, Mickey Mouse, Artful Rogue, and Aladdin. So these are all enchanted cards from the first chapter of Lorcana. Let's not take a look at every single one of them, but we're going to take a look at Elsa because it's the highest end card out of the batch, and probably deserves a bit of a spotlight. Front looks clean to me. No edge issues that I can really notice or anything like that. Back has like a little bit of something going on there. We can try to get that off before we send it in, kind of a thing. I'll take a slightly closer look later to see if we can get that off, because that might not grade as well as he would want. So I do take a quick peek at some of the cards for you guys, if they are higher end cards and if they need a bit of a cleanup, kind of a thing. Generally speaking, I don't for every single card because it just would take way too long. And honestly, at this point in time, I don't take a look at everybody's cards from top to bottom with super close inspection, but I'll take a look at this Elsa in a bit. And I will remember to do that later after this video. So next up, we have a lot of vintage Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Also from Alex. So we have a super faded Quagar Hercules from Tournament Pack 1. I think it's off-centered, left to right, so I don't know if that's necessarily good enough for a PSA 10. But really nice card. This is also an expensive card. Maybe just a little nick of whitening on the top there. But the card itself should be clean. This card saver might just be a little scratched up. So we're hoping for a nice PSA 9 on this one, I think, is what his goal is. Harpy Lady Sisters, nice card. Also slightly faded from Metal Raiders. He has not submitted this one yet, but nice card. Song of the Thunder, another Metal Raiders card. I don't know where he gets all these. Like, I know he bought a big collection a while ago, and it worked out really nicely for him because a lot of the cards were, like, super clean. And honestly, most of them graded 10s, so... Tribute to the Doomed, another nice Metal Raiders card, slightly faded as well. And again, we're not going to take a super close look at all these, just for time's sake. We do have 100 cards to go through, and we are at 4 minutes already for this video, almost. Garnisha Elefantis. Like I said, lots of Metal Raiders cards. I put them in order in terms of set code, so hopefully you appreciate that, Alec. Barrel Dragon, really nice looking card. I do like the censored version. It looks really cool with these, like, they look like almost like laser beams. I know they look kind of stupid to some degree, but like I think they make Barrel Dragon look like Barrel Dragon, in my opinion. Next up, we have a PSA 9, a former PSA 9, 7 Tools of the Bandit. I graded this for him a while back, not that long ago actually. Got a PSA 9. He thinks it is worthy of a 10. So we're going to go ahead and ship this back off to PSA and hope that it gets a 10. Heavy Storm as well from Metal Raiders. Like I said, he's got like basically the whole set of Metal Raiders. He's already graded a PSA 10 Summon Skull. This one's also a former PSA 9, Spellbinding Circle from Magic Ruler this time. And I did grade this one for him as well, I think. In the same submission. No, maybe not the exact same submission as the 7 Tools of the Bandit, but in a very close in proximity submission. This might have gone in a value sub instead of bulk TCG, but Serpent Knight Dragon, Magic Ruler, first edition, secret rare, nice card, nicely centered. Has a chance at a PSA 10, I would imagine. Limiter Removal, Pharaoh Servant, first edition, and Grave Robber, first edition Pharaoh Servant. Nice card as well. So there you have it. That is all cards for Alec. Next up, we are going into cards for Keysby. And he's got Wynn, Fearless Knight from Magic the Gathering, Lord of the Rings. He's got a Mio Toko. He's got 3 of these, actually, from Legendary Collection Joey's World. He loves this card, and we're trying to get him an English card copy in PSA 10. He has a Japanese copy in PSA 10, but hopefully we get him English. This is a French card, actually, so I know he went to France recently. I think it was for his honeymoon or something like that, or just a trip, I don't remember. But he did, I'm assuming he got this from France and has some sentimental value to him, so he is going to grade this. Subterror Guru, I think it's called in English. Magic Cat, interesting card from Ancient Prophecy to go along with Magic Dog from The Shining Darkness. Cool choices in my opinion, and they do look like they are pack fresh, or almost pack fresh maybe, or maybe just really likes these cards. I actually did not take a super close look at these ones specifically. Warrock Bachelios from Blazing Vortex, another interesting choice, but again, maybe he has some really cool sentimental value attached to this card, so I do not judge anyone for anything that they are grading by any means, guys. Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon, OCG print. Bit of whitening and stuff, but these cards are really cool. Enlarged art box, and then the original anime style card. So fantastic choice, if you ask me. Next we have Grave Robber, or Reaper of the Grave, I think. Reaper of the Grave, sorry, not Grave Robber. Grave Robber is what we submitted earlier. We have Graceful Dice, and I can't remember the name. Skull Dice, that's what it's called. And next up we have these beautiful God cards. So 3 cards, the full set. They are in really nice condition. This one is, I'd say Obelisk is slightly off-centered, right to left. And same with, Raw's pretty good at centering actually, so maybe just Obelisk is slightly off, but I put them in order again in set code. These are the original G4 God cards, as featured on Strictly Sealed's recent video, by the way, guys, so check that out if you haven't seen it already. Really cool collection video of a really high-end collector, and these cards are also extremely high-end, so hopefully we get good grades for our boy Keysby. And by the way, guys, I don't really take a super close look at these nowadays because I feel like PSA does a way better job with the scans and stuff. So they do scan the cards front and back, and if there's any damage that is really noticeable after they're graded, you can refer to the scans and be like, yo, like there was definitely no damage on this beforehand. Please tell me how this got damaged during the grading process or during the encapsulation process, which I find is usually the case. And if there is anything wrong with any of the cards, they will take care of it compensation wise. So that's usually why I do take a closer look at these cards, and obviously just for the fun aspect of it to see if cards are worthy of PSA 10s in our opinion. But yeah, we're not gonna, again, do that for every card. Next up we have Infernity Archfiend. These are for Crashdown Collecting on Instagram. This is a video game promo. I don't remember the name of the video game off the top of my head, but it's a 5Ds game. But yeah, Infernity Archfiend. And then Infernity Dwarf from the same game. And I don't think he had the 3rd card from that video game, or maybe he just chose not to grade it. Next up we have a Stardust Spark Dragon, which is really cool. This one comes from the manga, and it's one of the 5Ds mangas. It's really hard to find these days. I haven't seen a single copy available on retailer websites. You can find some of the Zexal ones online and some of the Arc 5, but none of them have really cool promo cards just like this, in my opinion. The GX ones are really hard to find as well, but Stardust Spark Dragon, really nice card. Hopefully he gets a PSA 10 for him. Elemental Hero Gaia. This is a higher end card. Let's take a closer peek at it. I have one of these in PSA 9 myself, but this is his copy that he actually just pulled recently out of a tin, I believe. Makes sense because it's first edition Ancient Prophecy. Really nice foiling. And just a little tiny pin dot there. Otherwise, and then like a bit of a print line across the back there. But nice card nonetheless, and slightly off-centered, I think, bottom to top, unfortunately. So I think we're aiming for a PSA 9 on this guy, but we'll see how it goes. All right, let's keep going. Straighten that out real quick. We have Frightful Bear from the new Challengers, Ultimate Rare. Really nice card. He sold one of these to Yugioh actually not that long ago. He graded that. Yugioh graded that through me and got a PSA 10 on it, I believe, maybe a 9. Wind Up Kitten from Photon Shockwave. I graded one of these as well. Got a 9, so hopefully he gets a 10 on this beautiful copy. I'm sure he pulled all of these, like I have no doubts about it. Primal Origin, number C102, Archfiend Seraph. Really nice foiling. Probably, I want to say probably a Euro copy, but I don't know. It looks, the stars don't pop that much. So maybe not. Heroic Champion Excalibur, really nice copy as well. Ever so slightly off-centered, right to left. That might be the only thing holding it back, really. Because I'm sure he pulled this one as well. Next up, a Cosmic Quasar Dragon. Beautiful card. I really want one of these in holographic rare, which is like the new ghost rare for the, look at that. Like that just looks so good. And yeah, I'm a big fan of this card as a whole. Duelist Nexus in Japan came out in the OCG when I was in Japan, or right before I was in Japan. So I picked up a couple boxes of that set, and it was a lot of fun to open and a lot of fun to just track down some of the cover cards from the OCG sets from around that era. So I really enjoyed that. All right, next up we have a whole bunch more cards. We have some One Piece, actually. This is the first time we're getting One Piece, I think, maybe. We have got a Rebecca leader card. It's an alternate art from OPO4. Nice card. And a waifu card, of course, for all you guys who are big fans of waifus. Yeah, that card's one of the more expensive cards out of OPO4. Kaido, also from OPO4. These are from my brother's friends. This is an alt art as well. There's a star above the SR, which tells you that it is an alt art. I don't know when they started doing that. I don't think that was in OPO1, Romance Dawn. But yeah, One Piece cards are really high quality as well, so I'm assuming they will get PSA 10s. This is the first card that my brother is actually submitting through me, or submitting in general. This is a Weiss Schwartz card, Kronstadt from Azur Lane, and it's a signature card, as you can see. We actually pulled this, unfortunately, off camera, but he bought 2 boxes, pulled one of these. Shout out to the Panda Duelist for picking this up picking up the boxes for us, I guess for my brother, because this is more his thing. But really nice texturing on these cards. I literally have no idea who any of these characters are in Azur Lane, but very nice card. And as Weiss Schwartz has really high print quality as well, so I have no doubts that this is a Gem Mint 10. Yeah, really nicely centered, really nice card in general. Honestly, probably could be a black label, but I don't submit with BGS enough to really know if it's worth submitting. I mean, I've never submitted through BGS, honestly, so we're going with PSA. I think it's a $150 card raw, or something like that. So we're hoping for a nice Gem Mint 10 on this guy. Shift that over just a bit. All right, next up we have a Junk Warrior. This is for my friend, the Panda Duelist. Picked this up for him locally here in Canada. Well, not local, but in Canada. It's a very clean card. There's literally nothing wrong with it. Let's take a quick peek at this one as well, because it's a brand new quarter century rare from Maze of Millennia. Centering is pretty darn nice, and I figured it was a PSA 10 copy when I saw it and bought it. So hopefully it is for his collection, because he's a big Yusei fan as well. He likes all the main characters, honestly. He loves Yugi, Jaden, and of course Yusei, so. And then Yuma from Zexal. I'll have to still throw this into a top loader, a card saver in a bit. Next card is for Creed. This one is a TLM first edition Elements of Hero Flaming Man, my favorite card from this set by far, and favorite card in general, other than like the Ultimate Rare version, of course, but the Ultra Rare is really cool too. Hopefully a PSA 10, but it is off-centered, to be fair. Yeah, it's off from left to right. Top to bottom, centering is fine. And then just a tiny little thing going on the back there, and then the corner looks like it just cut a little strange there, so hoping for a PSA 9, I'd say. Maybe it'll slip through and get a 10, but I'm assuming a PSA 9 on this one. I know he pulled these cards recently on his channel, so congrats to you on that, Creed. Really happy for you, my friend, and obviously huge to pull some big cards from these old school sets, just like this one. Elements of Hero Shining Phoenix Enforcer, another high-end card, cover card of Enemy of Justice. And this is a Euro print Unlim card. Really nice card. Too bad PSA does not attribute Euro print versus NA print for GX sets. It only does that for the original LOB to AST sets, really. These cards are weird because they have like this weird oily back to them. So I will clean that off for you, whatever that was. But we want to be careful because it is a Europrint card, and as such, it's going to have some really weak edges and corners. On this copy, it looks pretty darn good though. Like, there's no real noticeable whitening. So congrats to you on this one, Creed. Hopefully a nice PSA 10 for you, my friend. Centering is really nice on this one too. I don't see a single thing wrong with this card. So this one should be a nice PSA 10. And we claimed that back off for yes, so. This one might get upcharged, but we'll see. Same with some of the enchanted cards from Disney Lorcana that we saw earlier. There we go. Harpy's Pet Baby Dragon, beautiful card from Enemy of Justice as well. This is a first edition copy, North American print. Centering is off from top to bottom, so probably PSA 9, but you never know. It's probably packed fresh as well. I think I saw him pull this actually on his channel, so we're assuming packed fresh. Corner is weird on this one though. It looks like it's like, I don't know, it doesn't look straight, if that makes sense. It's like curved. Guy Drake, the Universal Force, Starstrike Blast, first edition. No, he pulled this one recently too. Hopefully another beautiful PSA 10 on this guy for him. And then Jack's Knight, Collector's Rare first edition, King's Courts, one of my favorite sets from this beautiful era of Collector's Rares. How can you not like Collector's Rares, guys? Like the texturing is insane on this. Very, very thankful to have a set in PSA 10 of Kings, Queens, and Jack's Knight. Next up, we have my cards, finally. So we have Stardust Dragon from the tin. I've been trying to chase a PSA 10 on this for a while now. This is the 4th copy I'm going to be submitting, and I'm waiting to see if one other copy comes in the mail before I submit this to PSA tomorrow. Today's January 31st, by the way, so we're going to wait till February 2nd at the very latest to see if that card comes in the mail. And then we'll drop these off to PSA regardless of if that shows up or not. But yeah, this one is slightly off center bottom to top, so we're hoping it slips through and gets that 10, but this is the best centered copy that I could find recently. And it's clean otherwise, so. Black Rose Dragon, another beautiful copy of this card. Really nicely centered. I've graded 2 PSA 10s already for this. This should be the third. Ancient Fairy Dragon is up next. This one is nice as well. It's not a super high value card, but I do want to take a quick peek at it because it is my personal card. And I've bought, I think, 3 copies of this now, and this is the cleanest one that I could find. Like, it's pack fresh. So I'm really happy with it. Hoping for a nice, beautiful PSA 10 on it. Really nicely centered as well. So yeah, we're trying to collect all the Signer Dragons in quarter century rare. And of course, Starlight rare, but the Stardust Dragon is eluding me right now from Dawn of Majesty. So we're just going to have to go with the quarter century rare versions of these cards for the time being, at least. And I think they're releasing a Power Tool Dragon at some point too, so that'll be cool. Next up, an Elemental Hero Flaming Man from Elemental Hero Collection 1. Of course, I'm a big fan of Elemental Hero Flaming Man, as you guys know. This is the secret rare printing from Elemental Hero Collection 1. I have a PSA 5 of this, but I'm hoping this copy gets a 9 at the very least. Centering is slightly off left to right, but top to bottom is fine. And the front of the card is super, super minty clean. This is like the spot of glue where they stuck the card to the friggin' pack, which is super annoying. And there's a tiny little pin dot there too. This is not dented or anything. It's just like you can't, there's no dent. The card is extremely mint structurally. It just has that weird glue blotch, like oil blotch, if that makes sense. I can't get it off. I've tried a million times. Really clean otherwise though. Hoping for PSA 9 just for my personal collection to upgrade that copy. We'll see what it does and how it does. I will sell if this copy gets a 9, I will sell the PSA 5 for literally what I paid for it. So like $12 grading fee plus, back in the day, $12 grading fee, because grading was cheaper back then, plus the, I think, $10 I paid for it, so like 25 bucks, let's say. Next up, a Lorcana card for myself. Snow White. Take a close look at this one because it is an enchanted and one of the most valuable enchanteds in Chapter 2, or Rise of the Floodborn. Really clean card, as you can see. I traded my Arthur for this, so it looks like the edges were cut really weird on this card, so you can kind of tell right there. It's a minty card though, like that's the thing. And then the bottom here is cut slightly weird as well, but I think this could probably still get a PSA 10, just based off how they grade modern cards from things like Lorcana, from games like Lorcana and One Piece. Hopefully it's a PSA 10 because this is a really nice looking card, and it's like a $500 card in PSA 10, I'd say. Befuddle. So this is these two cards are pre-errata cards, so they're first print cards from the first chapter. So before there were any reprints, these were the first edition, first print cards essentially. And the text is how you can tell if you want to compare these two copies that have errated text. I don't have any on hand. Like, I have a whole bunch in my bulk, but I don't have any on hand. But these are going for around 120 bucks each in PSA 10, 100 bucks each. So I figured they'd be worth grading because they are pack fresh, and I did sleeve them immediately. So hoping for PSA 10s on both of those. Next up, a Anniversary Luffy. So this is not the Oda gold signature card, unfortunately, but it is from OPO5, and it's a nice card. Pulled it myself. Bought some packs, loose packs of OPO5 in Vegas when I was there, back in earlier in January, and pulled this. So happy with it. I know it's not super expensive without the signature, obviously, but really cool card anyways. Next up, we have Zoro from OP06. This one I think we're going to take a look at because this card is the first alt art that I pulled from any One Piece packs. I did buy a few boxes of OP06 Wings of the Captain in Japanese. And I am very, very happy with the quality of this card, like of these cards in general. Like they have really nice texturing, really thick card stock. So just really, really clean cards altogether, and looks fantastic. Really cheap card considering all these factors, but should be a PSA 10 with no issues whatsoever. This is the cover card, well, the alt art of this specific secret rare from the set. And yeah, like I said, it just feels really high quality. And Zoro is probably the coolest character in One Piece, in my opinion. And a lot of people do like Zoro. So definitely going to keep that one in my personal collection. Unfortunately, not the manga art variant of this card. But again, really cool card from OP06 nonetheless. Next up, we have another alt art. This is Shanks. Pulled this one out of a box as well. And I'm pretty happy with this. Pulled this one with my brother. I might, well, we'll see. Might gift this to one of my cousins in the near future, but we'll see. Probably a PSA 10 as well. Entei V from the Crown Zenith set. This is a Galarian Gallery card. Pulled this one in Vegas as well, out of a Elite Trainer box. Should be a PSA 10. It's modern Pokemon, but it's not Scarlet Violet, so very clean card. Next up, we have the Star Wars Revenge of the Jedi title card. 2 out of 5, number 2 out of 5, which is pretty impressive. Like a low population raw card from Return of the Jedi, Star Wars Tops. Very cool card. This one's for Disco Games, as are these 2 Taiwanese Pokemon Center opening Pikachus from the Taipei Pokemon Center, which is the capital of Taiwan, if you guys didn't know. Really clean cards, just off-centered, so we'll see how they do. Probably PSA 9s, though. I think this one's slightly better centered than this one by like a margin, so we'll stick it behind it just in case it helps its case. Next up, we have an Aerodactyl V from Ben Hull. So this one's Ben's card that he purchased off me. I pulled this for him. I pulled this out of, what's it called? Out of 24 blisters of Lost Origin, and it's a gorgeous card. I just didn't need it in my personal collection, so sold it to him raw, and we're grading it for him. Hopefully we get a nice gem mint 10 on that one. I expect nothing less on that. Amiano Darkrai, this is another card that we sold to Ben and then graded for him. Got a PSA 8, so he's not happy with that. He wants to try for a 9 to go with the Espeon. I think it doesn't have it shot at 10 because of the centering. Now that I realize that Pokemon centering is there to, like, I don't know. Like, I just didn't know much about Pokemon centering, to be honest with you. And didn't take a super close look at that card, unfortunately. Mewtwo GX. Mewtwo. Really nice card as well. This one has like some weird spots on the back. I'll try to show you guys here. But he got this from a giveaway, I believe. And so I can't even, oh, there they are. Like there's just like these white like spots on the back right there, kind of throughout the side of the card. You just can't get them off. I've tried a few times. I think it's just the way the card was printed. It almost feels like a card was like stuck to this card while it was still wet or something like that, and then the ink just kind of got lost in translation. But it's really nicely centered, and well, I can't say that I don't know off Pokemon centering. I think it's slightly off maybe, but should be a PSA 9 at the very least. We have a Roaring Moon EX for Ben is next. This one I think he pulled himself from Scarlet and Violet. Scarlet Violet print quality is not that high in my opinion. So like you can kind of see like a little bit of like a flipped edge there, but that's just the way the card was cut. not any edge wear or play or anything like that. And this one's off-centered. So maybe a 9 on this guy. We'll see. A Blue Eyes White Dragon STK-E, so European STK. Not bad condition considering this is a childhood copy for him. And really nice colors on this card, even though it is a European copy, which is sometimes viewed as not as valuable and not as nice compared to NA, but I really like this card regardless. Winkaribo, Ultimate Rare from the Lost Millennium. Unfortunately, a very beat up copy, or else I'd take a closer look at this guy. I'm thinking PSA like 7 on this at best, but we'll see. Transcendent Wings from Cybernetic Revolution. This card is, I want to say, pretty minty as well. Big fan of the cards that kind of go in a set like these two, as well as Winkaribo level 10. So we'll see if we can get Ben one of those in the near future. I know he's been looking for a copy. We're gonna stick these back in here so we don't put too much pressure on those bottom cards, and I'll take a look at that also, like I said. But last few cards in the submission, guys, that we'll go over are here. And yeah, let's keep going. So we have a Rainbow Dragon for Ben. This one he picked up off me as well. It was a sealed copy and it looks very clean, so should be a PSA 10. Graded 2 10s and no 1 10 and 2 9s so far for Rainbow Dragon from the 10 promo. To go with that, we have a Rainbow Dark Dragon from Phantom Darkness. Nice card. It's got a few issues with it. Let's just take a quick peek. This is one of his higher end cards that he's submitting. But front looks really nice, to be honest with you, in this lighting at least. Maybe a couple like print lines on across the front there. You can kind of see. And then the back has like a few scratches and scuffs and stuff as well, but overall a near mint to mint card. Bottom there has a little something going on. Nothing too crazy. And then a print line or a few scratches or scuffs or print lines, whatever you want to call them. Down the back there as well. So probably not a PSA 10, but maybe a 9. Maybe a 9 if it slips through a little bit and if they are a bit lenient with it. Hoping for a 9 at least for this guy. That one just slips right in. There we go. Next up, a Black Rose Dragon. North American print copy on them, but really nice foiling, as you can see. Didn't take a super close look at this one either. Let's just really quickly glance at it. Love the foiling on this. I really want to copy it at some point in time. Just want to pull one myself though. Yeah, so the back is not the prettiest. Some scratches all across, and then that Alti text or Alti stamp box, very noticeable. So this one might get dinged a little bit. Obviously I put it in my notes that Ultimate Rares are not to be dinged for just because they have the Alti stamp. But you never know. PSA doesn't always listen. It is also off-centered, so maybe a 7, I would assume. My apologies, guys. Recovering from a bit of a cold. We have Belle, Strange but Special, from the first chapter. These are for Mark, a local guy in my city, and I will be returning these to him whenever they get back. Nice card. By the way, guys, do not put these pull tabs on these cards anymore. There's no point. PSA does not appreciate them because it gets in the way of their imaging. So we'll kind of get rid of them as we go, but this one looks nice. Simba, Returned King, also from the first chapter. And I'm thankful that we don't actually have any of the same enchanteds that we're grading. out of the 3 people that are grading Lorcana cards. Because I think we have 4, 8, we have 9 enchantments in total out of the 24 possible ones out of the first 2 sets so far. And we do not have a single duplicate, so really cool to see all these. These ones are really like faded looking, like they don't have a lot of saturation attached to them. I'm not sure why that is, but the first chapter, in my opinion, just looks so much better most of the time. This is one of the best looking cards in this set, though, in my opinion. And so we'll take a quick look at this one. But yes, Cinderella. All the Disney princesses will get some love out of this set. Ooh, a couple of very faint, like, hollow scratches there. Hopefully that doesn't take away from the fact that this is a pack fresh card, I'm assuming. Pretty sure he pulled this himself. Very nice indeed. And then the last few cards for Mark here. I'll get rid of the stickies in a bit here. Mickey Mouse friendly face. Elsa, gloves off. Genie, powers unleashed. These are all from the Disney 100 collector set, by the way, or the gift set, whatever you want to call it. Maleficent, uninvited. And Maui, demigod. Hopefully gets 10s up on all of these. It'd be really cool to have a consecutive search set. I do have a set myself. I just don't know if it's worth sending at this point in time because the market is pretty saturated with them. And PSA 9 sets go for like literally pennies on the dollar, like less than your grading cost. So if I got like a full PSA 9 set, it would not be worth it whatsoever. If I got like a few PSA 10s out of the 6 cards there, it'd probably be worth it. I just don't know if I want to spend that kind of money right now with so many other expenses in life. So I'm going to hold off on submitting that. This is a Ho-Oh, by the way, from Mark. It's probably a childhood copy or something he picked up in very beat up condition, but so there's no chance this gets a PSA 10, but like it's still a nice card at the end of the day, and it'll definitely get graded. I just don't know. Actually, I can't even say that it'll definitely get graded. I really hope it does, instead of getting sent back without being slabbed up. But like probably PSA 2 or 3 condition at best. Like the structural integrity of the card is actually decent. Like it's not bad. It's not like falling apart so like that badly. It's just extremely beat up. So it's not like bent or anything anywhere though. That's like the main thing in my opinion that makes it really cool. But yeah, Ho-Oh Neo Revelation, I believe it's from, because Lugia is from Neo Genesis. A Pikachu with gray felt hat, nice card as well. I really wish I had a copy. Next we have a Red Eyes Black Dragon from LOB. This one is from Obelisk the Obtainer, I believe his name is on Instagram. This one is pretty beat compared to the other 2 cards that he's submitting, but it's a first edition LOB Red Eyes Black Dragon nonetheless. Corner is soft there. Scratches like all over the face of the card, you can see all over the hollow, but a first edition LOB Red Eyes still. Back is pretty beat, as you can see, like lots of scuffs, lots of scratches. That corner is soft, like I mentioned. That corner is a little soft as well. So I'm assuming like a PSA 5 for this copy, maybe a 6. I'm assuming a 5. They don't love to grade these higher end cards well if they are beat like this, unfortunately, but I don't think it deserves more than a PSA 5 or 6 at best. It's also off-centered, so probably 5. Next up, Summon Skull. This one is very clean though. let's take a look at this because it is extremely clean, and not every day you get to see Metal Raiders, first edition Metal Raiders cards. Centering is pretty darn solid as well. Just top to bottom is, bottom to top is slightly off. But minty card. This corner looks a little strange right there, but I think this one is deserving of a PSA 9 at the very least. It's also slightly faded, like not super faded, but you can tell like it is definitely a bit more faded than other copies of this card, but really nice nostalgic card. And this one will probably get upcharged as well. I wonder if he has had this card for his entire life since he pulled it, or if he bought it raw. This is a Buster Blader first edition Pharaoh Servant. We're actually going to take a quick peek at this one too because it is really quite nice. Just off-centered top to bottom this time around. But in my opinion, the skull is better centered than this one. So I think the skull has a better chance at a 10 than this one does. And then, yeah, nothing really wrong with it. It's pretty darn minty, as you can see. So we'll see how it does. This is his favorite card. I don't know if he has a Japanese OCG Ultimate Rare version, but that would be really cool to have in the collection if you're a Buster Blader fan. I used to love Buster Blader as a kid, but then my mom bought me the Summon Skull tin instead of a Buster Blader tin back in the day. So I kind of switched allegiances to being a Summon Skull fan. Next up, a first edition STK Blue Eyes White Dragon. This copy is also really beat, but really cool card. And again, probably a PSA 4 at best. This one's for Obelisk Blue on Instagram. And then lastly, we have a few common Force the Breaker cards. So Crystal Base Amethyst Cat times 2. Cobalt Eagle times 4. And these are the best centered copies that I could find. They are the best looking copies that I could find. They're all pack fresh because I pulled them myself. And then Volcanic Hammer times 2. So yeah, we're hoping that we get some solid PSA 10s throughout the submission for everyone. Thank you guys for trusting me with your cards, your shiny and expensive cardboard. Really appreciate it, of course. And if you guys are interested in grading more cards through me in the near future, like whether you are submitting cards now or you're thinking about submitting cards, definitely hit me up on Instagram at DLegend_Yugioh, and we'll get that sorted for you. Next submission will probably be in March, like end of March type thing, or maybe even later than that, depending on how much interest we have and how many cards I personally have to submit as well. But life's gonna be really busy between now and then, so hopefully we get these back soon, and then I get them back to you guys soon. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. I appreciate y'all, and let me know your favorite card in the entire submission, or your top like 5, because there's so many to choose from. 100 cards, guys, 100 cards. Should get these back at the end of like February or mid-March. So yeah, catch y'all soon. Peace.